So here we are, March 9th, 2020, and concurrent with the full moon in Pisces Virgo, we've just experienced the biggest stock market drop since the 2008 market crash, 2,000 plus points. And looking at the astrological positions, we see that the full moon, as I mentioned in a previous video, is triggering the Mars Neptune square in the US chart, which primarily connects it to the 12th and to the natural sign of Virgo, which links it to health issues. You could even add, if you wanted to, Gemini as the respiratory part of the body, if you want to be tuning into fine points. But it's important to also notice that Mars is also the ruler of the fifth, and the fifth is connected to speculation, and speculation is definitely one of the important factors in market dynamics. It's not just investment. You could argue that a lot of investment is speculation, and you could even say that a big reason the market was as high as it was had to do with lots and lots of speculation. It's definitely part of the market dynamics. So therefore, the market is automatically involved by way of this alignment that is presently happening around the full moon. But we also have to look at the planets in Capricorn, especially Pluto and Saturn, in that they're transiting opposite Mercury. Now, at the moment, Saturn appears to be beyond it and is in the really late degrees of Capricorn. But don't be fooled by that. The way these transits work, if it's due to come back, and it is, later in the late summer, it's going to directly oppose Mercury in a station. Therefore, it's effectively locked into that aspect. And Mercury is in the US 8th. All these planets are. And so now we're talking about probably the primary ruler of market activity, the house of investments, pooled funds, other people's money, literally. And the opposition there, now that really points to serious trouble and the kinds of debacles that we may be witnessing in this case. Pluto, as an example, back in 2008 was just entering Capricorn and was in short order to oppose Venus, and that period in the market's history was very tumultuous. So the question is, how do we assess this going forward? I have to say, I'm not very optimistic about where the market is going. For one thing, Neptune will continue on its way to make a station in the 21st degree of Pisces, pretty directly, squaring Mars, and for all intents and purposes locking into the Neptune position as well. That wouldn't be considered good, because knowing that it's happening in late June, that's where the market is headed, so to speak, over that period of time. And then beyond that, Neptune will backtrack, but still signaling that it's going to return to this point in the spring of next year. And in the meantime, with or without Neptune, you've got Pluto-Saturn roaming around opposite this Mercury during the late summer and into the early fall. So I would be very cautious around market investments. And it's really only common sense. When you get an outbreak like the coronavirus, it's a global thing. It's a global factor. It's not just U.S., but the market is in effect a global institution, a global system, because it depends on supply lines. It depends on all kinds of factors that are not just U.S. And so once those factors are affected, you pretty much have to expect that the market will take a hit, investors lose confidence, and the market goes down. So to those who are saying, buy on the dip and make money, yeah, that's a great idea, but make sure you're absolutely aware of what that dip is, or at least get as close to it as possible if you don't want to lose your shirt.